Very good morning, friends. So I hope you're all doing safe and healthy. Well, in the previous video, I started off with the concept of first time adoption of Ind-AS, that is Ind-AS 101. And I give you can say, a terminology related to the first time adoption. We understood what exactly is the first Ind-AS financial statements. Then we understood the concept in terms of the previous gaps slightly. And we also understood that what is a date of transition typically. Now, as I said, based on these terminology, let's, I think, have some case studies based on this as well. Now, if you remember in the previous video, I was talking in terms of the previous gap as that once a company is decided to present financial statements as per Ind-AS, let's say in a particular year 16-17, then your previous year comparative also needs to be presented. And these previous year comparatives will be presented as per Ind-AS, which have previously been presented as per what we call the previous gap. Now the question rises, what is supposed to be a previous gap? Now in this particular video, we're just going to concentrate on the concept of what is a previous gap. Let's find this out in detail with an example. भाई बम्पर ऑफर और आज उसका लास्ट डे, यानी आज ही ये बम्पर ऑफर खुली है जिसके अंदर जो बच्चे अपने मई 22 की तैयारी कर रहे हैं उनके लिए आज ये ऑफर रात के 12 बजे तक अवेलेबल है। वैसे कल से मेरा सीए फाइनल का एक बैच शुरू होने जा रहा है और इसके अंदर मेरा क्या बल्कि सीए फाइनल ग्रुप 1 का पूरा बैच शुरू होने जा रहा है मई 22 और नवंबर 22 के लिए। तो भाई एकदम सुनहरा ऑफर है। अगर आप इस वक्त सीए फाइनल की ग्रुप 1 की सब्सक्रिप्शन प्लान कर रहे हैं 6 मंथ्स की, तो उसमें आपको 2 मंथ्स एक्स्ट्रा मिलेंगे। 12 मंथ्स की लेते हैं तो उस पर भी 2 मंथ्स एक्स्ट्रा मिलेंगे। यही ऑफर आपकी सीए फाइनल ग्रुप 2 के लिए भी ओपन है। और अगर मान लीजिए इसके अंदर आप ग्रुप 1 ग्रुप 2 दोनों की ऑफर प्लान कर रहे हैं तो उस पर भी 6 मंथ्स पर 2 मंथ्स और 12 मंथ्स पर 2 मंथ्स। बट याद रखिए ये ऑफर केवल आपकी आज रात 12 बजे तक है। इसके लिए आपने करना कुछ नहीं है, डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स के अंदर आपको एक लिंक मिलेगा जिससे आप इन बैचेस को सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं। और ये ऑफर फाउंडेशन और इंटरमीडिएट के लिए भी अवेलेबल है। अगर आप फाउंडेशन इंटरमीडिएट की प्लान कर रहे हैं तो 12 मंथ्स पर 2 मंथ्स और 24 मंथ्स पर भी आपको 2 मंथ्स एक्स्ट्रा अवेलेबल है। तो भाई बम्पर की बाहर है। और सीए इंटरमीडिएट की अगर आप प्लान कर रहे हैं तो 6 पर 2 मंथ्स, 12 पर 2 मंथ्स और 24 पर 3 मंथ्स। लेकिन याद रखिए कि ये ऑफर केवल आज ओपन है 12 बजे तक। लिंक्स आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिलेंगे, तो फटाफट से तैयारी कीजिए एंड लेट्स क्रैक इट। Now, if somebody were to ask me to define that what is a previous gap, I would first of all put two focus. It's a basis of accounting, what a first-time adopter. Now, in this example, let's consider that in the year 1617, you decided to adopt Ind-AS for the first time. So the company X Limited who decided to adopt Ind-AS is called the first time adopter. So we need to see that the first time adopter, what was the basis of accounting it used for statutory reporting in India. Let me put the emphasis in India. So we're looking at the previous gap to be the one which is used for the purpose of statutory reporting in India immediately before adopting Ind-AS. That means in the year 1516 in my example, what was you can say the gap which was used for the purpose of making the financial statements. Let's look at an example to illustrate this. Imagine there is a company B which is a foreign subsidiary of company A, and it is adopted IFRS as issued by the International Accounting Standard Board as its primary gap for local financial reporting purposes. So B is a foreign subsidiary of company A and it is adopted, you can say, IFRS for the purposes of local financial reporting. Highlight the words, it's not statutory requirements in India. The company B prepares its financial statements as per the accounting standards specified under the Companies Act 2013. for the purposes of consolidation of company A. So let's imagine that company A is in India, the parent company is in India with a functional currency, let's say Indian rupee, and the subsidiary is supposed to be, let's say, in USA, and it is adopted, or let's say in UK, and it is adopted IFRS. Now, in this particular purpose, the question rises that when I want to consider a previous gap in this particular case, what do I consider the previous gap? So the question is, on the transition of company A to India's, what would be the previous gap of the foreign subsidiary B for the financial statements prepared for the consolidation with company A? So when A is going to move over to India's, that means the first time adoption, it needs to consolidate the subsidiaries as well. So even B, which is a foreign subsidiary, would be consolidated. So what would be the previous gap for company B for this particular purpose? The answer is accounting standards. The answer is what is being used for the purposes of statutory requirements in India. It doesn't make a difference that what was the gap it was using for the purpose of local financial reporting, but we are concerned with what was the gap which was used for the purposes of statutory requirements in India. That's the key input. So that was a little simple and a straightforward case study on the concept of previous gap. Wait for something more coming in this particular month on Index 101. That's all in this particular video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye and take care.